Hello guys, Scott here from the 90-foot catamaran Orion. Somebody was just asking about the engine rooms. Okay, so you reach on over, you grab one of these handles right here, and this is actually just a winch handle, but it's also what we use to open up the engine room hatch. And you can just slide into one of these. These are actually dogs. See, it'll push down and lock the engine room closed for rough weather. Did you see how that just worked? Now I'm going to open it. Lift up, that becomes the winch handle becomes a engine room hatch handle. Okay, now I'm walking down into the engine room here, and boom, there we are. So this is the engine room. Now I don't have a wide angle lens here, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to try to find a way to show you. Okay, so what you're seeing is the engine room, and let's see, so battery banks back here. This little hatch right here is a watertight bulkhead, in case we ever lost the back of the boat. You know, you might do that. Might have like a accident or something, and have another boat hit you. Drive up on the rear end of the boat. So that's so this is a big metal hatch. We close this when we're at sea, and then inside of here, that's the day tank right there. So that gives us a little bit of Okay, I'm going to turn on the light and see if I can get you a little bit of looking in here now. So that's a hydraulic ram back in there that runs the steering system. There's a steering system on both sides. There's a shifting. So there's another steering system on the other side, exactly the same. Let me see if I can widen that light a little bit. Maybe that'll help you. I don't know. Not the best. This is a cell phone and a flashlight. But anyway, it's not the quality of the equipment. It's how steady I can hold my hand. Okay, so that's what's inside that little area. Here we have the battery boxes. So inside of each of these fiberglass boxes is battery. These are just some rags and stuff. There's a list of times when to do your scheduled maintenance. Okay, now we're going to try to get over here to, well, let me just carry on back around here just a little bit more. These are the engine exhaust here. This is the generator exhaust, and see that's a water-air separator, so you don't get that glug 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 that comes out of the exhaust, because the generator exhaust, that is, because the generator exhaust is all separated out. So the exhaust comes in here to a water separator, and then that goes to the air water separator, and the water drops out underneath the water line, and just above the water line is the exhaust for the generator right there. Okay, we come back here. Got a little moisture there. These are the filter system right there, and this right here. This counts how much fuel is going by, and these are the flow jets. And so with a flow jet, the flow jet interacts with the GPS, and that gives us a best miles per gallon of fuel used. So, and it gives it to you in real time. So between this little counter right here, and there's another one on the other side because it's in and out for the engine, between those two counters, then the flow jet gives us a readout right there. Okay, that's and that's really important when we're making long distance runs and we run out of wind, and we say, well, you know, we still got 600 miles to go, and then we can start picking, depending on the sea conditions, we can pick how fast we're going to go to get the most distance for the fuel that we have. That little guy over there is supposed to be one of those specialty magnetics that breaks up algae. I see those all the time. I don't know if they break up algae, but I certainly see them. This little system right here, this is a prop pitching mechanism, and so what my hand is on right now, that's that pitches the prop, and I can bring the prop to pitch like in line with the water, so that so it's totally feathered, or else I can have a really aggressive pitch. Like, let's say we're sailing, but every now and then we hit a really big wave, and it takes us from like 14 knots to like 7 knots, and then it takes me like 5 or 6 waves to build back up to speed. What I can do is I can let one engine turn over really slow, and with a lot of pitch on the prop, and then if I do hit one of those waves that slows me down, then that kind of gives me a little bump to pick the speed back up. well, it's kind of a cool system. That's the regular gearbox there. So that right there is just a regular forward and reverse 2.9 to 1 reduction gearbox. And in between them right here, that's the aqua drive. So the engine kind of floats on its own flexible mounts, and then the prop shaft floats on its own flexible mounts. And these are the flexible mounts right here. And then the aqua drive kind of connects the two right there. And that right there, that's the hydraulic pump. I'll split it like this. Okay, this is the hydraulic pump on that side, and what that little hydraulic pump does is it sets the pitch of the prop. And then this is the control box for the hydraulic pump, and that's a generator C strainer. And now we look over here. This is the back of the engine, and I'm just trying to get you so that you can kind of get a view of the back of the engine. They were wondering about access to the engine. So that was actually the question that got me here making this video, and so I'll show you that access in just another second. And so this here is a little sensor, tells you if you're getting water in your engine or if you lose your water flow while the engine is running. That's a nice little system. This here is that's the electric valve that takes fuel from the forward tanks and puts it into the day tank. And then there's a sensor inside the tank, and I can also reach on over and push that button and make a manual fill of the tank if I want. Let's see, this hose here, right here, I have that hooked up to a bilge pump and in on a bilge pump. So if I ever really needed to, pump a little area of the bilge, I can reach that hose down and kind of stick it in a little area and suck out the last little bit of water. Okay, so now we come up that way. That's the air conditioning unit right there. So, oh my gosh, lest that ever go down, that'd be top priority to get that fixed. Here's the yeah, we're in the tropics, you can tell. This is the battery bank control center right there. So these are the battery switches for the engine. That's a tie-in system right there. I keep that hanging right there. That's the for the oil filter on the generators, which is pretty good. Okay, so how do you get into the engines? You walk on over here, and you can lift this ladder, which is kind of cool. And I think that's still going. Wow, that just yeah. Okay, so you reach on over to these floor plates, and you can lift up a floor plate like that, and now you're right on top of the engine. See, so you can choose which floor plate, or you can just kind of slide all the floor plates to one side and just kind of stack them up on each other. So see, floor plate lifts up like that, and then the floor plate starts to pull out, and that's it. Now you're onto the top of the engine. If you don't want to be on the top of the engine, and then those floor plates, you can those 3 plates, you can stack them out of the way too. See, now I got the ladder up, and then that's the main electrical panel right there. That's the 220 volt panel right there. And so, well, did that answer your question about access to the engine? Well, I hope it might have. Anyway, trying to show you what we got there. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.